everybody. My name is Dino Davis. Thank you all for getting up so early and joining us here this morning. Also, thank you to Cloverly for hosting our event once again. My wife and I have lived in West Bremerton since 2001, and we've been involved in our community since landing here, really. Through our volunteerism, we've seen the need of our community become more involved, and through my involvement through my business dealings, I've seen a need in the business community to interact more with the city. And through that relationship of attending city council and study sessions, I've found that my voice is one that I think can lend a different viewpoint to what's being presented right now, and one that is a valid viewpoint that is outside of the people that just attend the meeting. There's growing concern in our neighborhoods over public safety, over the ability to walk our neighborhoods, over the condition of our roads and sidewalks. This seems to be really, first and foremost, on the minds of the people that I've spoken to. So that leads to my other point, which is we need a sustainable, more vibrant business district in Calo. The Charleston district used to be a thriving business center, and there's really no reason that it couldn't be again. All the elements are there. We have some fantastic restaurants, some great businesses. Kids have sports has returned, and it could be an urban village, a center that we can walk to, and that we can go with our families and spend a day or an evening, and really have a neighborhood cohesiveness to further our public image of our city. The biggest point of that is 65 cents of every dollar that is spent here in Bremerton stays in Bremerton. And that's something we need to champion, something we need more of. So those are a couple of my key points. I'm sure there will be some interesting questions that will be coming up here. I look forward to that. About me personally, I'm a realtor, and I have received some important endorsements that I'm very proud of. Board of Realtors has endorsed me, the Home Builders Association, as well as some of the council members have already endorsed my campaign. Leslie Dowd, who was with us this morning, Council President Greg Giller, Council Vice President Faye Punisher also has kindly endorsed my campaign. And I have some working relationships with these people already in place, and that is through attending plenty of meetings. So I look forward to this event. Thank you. Thank you.
My name is Deirdre McNeil, and I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to give my campaign a platform to express my views. I was born in Seattle. My family moved here in the early 60s, and I grew up in Paulsboro. Bremerton has always been on the horizon for me as a child through the Bremerton job and what you do. I'm here in the Bremerton community now. I have lived here steadily since 2009. One of the things I've had the opportunity to do is volunteer, and specifically for West Hills STEM Academy as a PTA member and an officer. And one of the things I was introduced to was the profound need in my community. It's a sad statistic that at West Hills STEM Academy, 77% of the kids there qualify for low income or free or reduced price meals. And as well as Naval Elementary in my own district, the newly designated District 5, they have 66%. So it is with this in mind and the need in the community for living wage jobs to bring back business into the Cowell Avenue as well as the rest of Bremerton. We're strongly in need of a voice, and we have to start thinking outside the box. It's really important that we challenge ourselves, and I believe I have the ability to do that based on my background.
All right, so now we get into the question and answer period. I just went through all the questions, and we have quite the well-informed, challenging audience here. It's going to be like bungee jumping. I'm going to take you from the big picture into intimate details.
One quick note on the minute answers, I'll hold it up at 10 seconds instead of 30. So,
That'd be okay.
yeah.
So then, quick wrap. So let's just to get you warmed up a little bit, so you know what it's like to work with this 1 minute framework. And also, we might just start you off with just a softball, or gently toss one out there for you. So, and since you started it, we're going to start. So the question to you is, what do you consider to be your biggest challenge in District 5? Your biggest challenge in District 5. 1 minute.
Well, as Dino said, walkability is very important, and the residents I speak to or spoken to, even in my own experience, understand that walkability and safety are paramount. Crosswalks, we need them marked. Our children really do need a safe route to school. I know West Hills STEM Academy is outside the city boundaries, but our children go there, and we need to make sure that they have those crosswalks in place, well marked, and protecting them. The other part is I also ride a bicycle, and one of the things that I have a problem with is competing with traffic vehicles on our roads. There really are not in our community bike routes. We really need to address that. The other issue is, of course, providing a business infrastructure that attracts business.
Well, I do agree. Walkability is huge, and there aren't any crosswalks on 6th Street from Naval Avenue all the way downtown. That's a huge problem. It bisects our district and cuts off people trying to move north-south. But I think the bigger problem is the stigmatization that's happened to the Cal district. We can't attract new business until we address that fact and really start championing the fact that we have some great viable businesses already. Gavin's has been forever. If you want to celebrate, you need a champagne cake. And that's the voice that we need to get out. That we have these anchors of our community, and we need to celebrate them and really bolster that street cred, if you will, to build an image of our district that people want to come to. Thank you.
You know, you can stay standing.
All right. Very good.
This is how this works. Your next line. So, you just addressed the priority for your district. Now, what, in your opinion, are the top 3 priorities for the city? So, the top 3 priorities for the city.
Well, since we are an urban neighborhood in District 5, it kind of parrots what we just said. If you look at our neighborhoods, we're 2 hills with a valley. And with whether you're walking through the Callow side and kind of back over by Adele, meets meets up with 6 coming down, they have a 3-way stop and a 4-way section. That's crazy. You know, we've got a problem with people outside of our city, even that live only in Chico or Silverdale, that won't come to Bremerton because they think that it's a dangerous sort of place. And that's not true. We have great life downtown. We need to get that worked out. And you know, we're improving walkability in the downtown corridor. We need to have that same zeal up in the neighborhoods. We're fixing the potholes, we're restriping, and we're concentrating on public safety. Thank you.
And your top 3 priorities.
Well, it's not going to surprise anybody that a lot of what I'm going to say is echoed in both our platforms. Dino and I both agree. Walkability. It's what I term a destination neighborhood. A destination neighborhood, comfortable, you can socialize and walk at neighborhood community areas and just live and shop and entertain yourself or find your entertainment in your neighborhood. The second issue, and it is equally important, is we need living wage jobs in Bremerton. We need to raise the bar on how we go about achieving that. And the third issue is, of course, going to be safety, public safety, and reducing crime. Thank you.
And if you'd like to remain standing before the next question. So now getting into something that's near and dear to the hearts of members of the Chamber of Commerce, many of our small business leaders. Do you have any proposals about doing away with the B&O taxes?
You know, this has been on the horizon for Bremerton for a long time. As a youngster, it's been an issue. I remember reading about the flight of JCPenney's and then Sears. So yes, it is a big issue. And Bremerton has been holding on to pennies and avoiding getting the dollars from the bigger businesses for that many years. I really believe in a heartfelt way, in an economic micro-economy like this, that B&O tax needs to be extinguished. It needs to be out of our code. It just needs to be eliminated. But then we have the secondary problem. It represents 2% of Bremerton's, about 2% of Bremerton's revenue. So we have to have that balance of being able to obtain revenue. So
Thank you.
Same question.
Well, yes, everybody loves the idea of getting rid of taxes without really presenting anything. You know, as a rookie, if you will, politician and someone running for office, I don't have a specific platform to get rid of the B&O tax. It is a regressive tax. It is a tax that doesn't help business come to our community, but it does fund, as Jerry was pointed out, 2% of our budget. So what do? Well, we need to look at other ways of getting income. Unfortunately for city, tax is how we get most of our income. We have a utility district, little tax, but really, we can't just line out B&O. It's too big. It's I believe almost $3 million at this point. So I would work hard to champion a program that either brings existing business into a better revenue stream or bring new business to town.
Thank you.
Get the hang of it.
Yeah, we're getting into this one.
I'm in the flow.
This is good. You're just warming up. And so with moving from B&O taxes, the question is if funding for the city parks is as important as funding for police and fire service, and so how do you propose we fund the parks?
Well, that's an interesting conundrum, isn't it? Parks and recreation is a vital part of our city identity. And when it's easy to just look at the two and say, well, of course we got to go for police and fire. Everybody wants to be safer and not have a house burned down. But that's not why we seek this position. We don't seek this position to just champion the easy ideas and easy, low-hanging fruit of supporting. It needs to be a balance, true, and if it comes to a line item issue of a police officer or another pocket part, like we have to fall on the side of the police officer, that's for sure. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to ask the hard questions, and we're here to evaluate them as a whole item, as a whole budget. While police and fire should rank a little bit higher, our city identity is also vitally important.
The fire and police department, from the residents that I've spoken to, are very essential to the city. They don't want them touched. And there's, I've taken a survey for the Parks and Recreation, and there's some very good ideas in there about how to support our parks. And one of them is corporate sponsorship. And the other is ongoing at Forest Ridge. There's a stewardship committee that has adopted it and has sought volunteers from the community to renovate its trails. And they're doing a wonderful job. I'm so impressed. If you are available on the third Saturday in the mornings to help with that, we're more than welcoming any business sponsorships or community support. So there's solutions out there, and we need to tap into those.
Thank you.
So staying on, getting some real specifics, this question is somewhat in the same arena. The question from this audience member's perspective is that the sidewalks are failing, and is there any plans to fix them?
Well, currently, we do have a plan, or the city has a plan, and it's called the TBD. They're going to be using that to address planned improvements on the sidewalks and streets. This city is big, it's huge, and there's more sidewalk work than we are going to be able to fund in the short term. So we need to be more aggressive in addressing those needs of the community and get those failing sidewalks, as well as adding sidewalks to our city streets. It's important to get those kids off the streets, protected by that barrier or buffer of the sidewalk. And funding is going to be an issue. It's a significant one. So we have to be very careful what we do with our transportation dollars. And thank you very much.
Well, funding is the issue, and whether it's seeking out new grants like the Safe Routes Project, which was donating $65 million to these exact improvements, sidewalks, gutters, striping, signage, that I think was a failed opportunity. We didn't really utilize that to its full potential. The budget is stretched like a rubber band already, and so without replicating it the way the council's been heading, borrowing from our reserve funds, I don't think that's a good idea, but I do think pursuing more neighborhood grants, more at-grade grants to improve the structures we already have. There's heaving over on Gregory that is just tremendously disruptive, as well as the pothole situation. I think we all know at least one street that we just go drive down. So, thank you.
All right, so we've gotten through sidewalks, crosswalks. Oh, this one. What is your, real quickly, what is your position on tree removal on 4th Street?
Of course, the trees.
We're getting specific.
We are. I don't think there's anybody who lives in the Pacific Northwest that doesn't like trees. That's one of the reasons we're here. So, but I don't think this is a populist issue. This is a public works issue. We've got a great public works department. They've done a fantastic job with a huge amount of infrastructure to take care of. And while, you know, a tree is a beautiful thing, but trees are a living thing and they have a life cycle. And I think that is where this information isn't getting put forth. You know, we have, again, a group of people that are professionals. You know, that you just have to look at any of the LID or regular development that we've done in the city, there are trees going in. So if the tree is removed, I'm confident that the correct tree will be put in its place. And really it's public works and professional arborists that come together and have not only this issue addressed, but also a cohesive plan to care for the rest of the trees in the city. Thank you.
I thought it was real interesting when the tree issue came up. I love trees myself. Buying an older home in Charleston District, I recognize that there's a limit to what you can do with overgrowth of existing landscaping. So a lot of what I had to do was remove it. And it's true, consulting with a professional arborist for the right kind of tree in the right place with the limitations that exist to prevent further damage to sidewalks and streets is essential. So I'm, in this particular case, would rely on the expertise of an arborist for a solution. And what can I say? I'm a tree hugger. I love them. But let's get the right solution in Ward Street.
Very good, thank you. So let's move down from the trees and back to the streets. And this question is specific again. Do you support installing crosswalks at 6th and High? And if so, how soon will you make it happen?
That is an incredibly busy area, and I travel that route daily for my job. And I do believe the bus stop there it would be safer for a crosswalk to be in that area, but I'm not too sure, except the crest of that hill and the visibility on either side approaching traffic is poor as well. So as far as placing it right at the intersection, I'm going to have to defer to the public works people to properly place a crosswalk as needed for that community. Public safety is paramount amount, and so is ease of access. So we have to limit ourselves to safety.
Same question.
Well, I'm not sure if 6th and High is the right spot or 6th and Hewitt, but there's definitely needs to be a breakup of the traffic there. I think Chief Strand is doing a fantastic job with his improved patrolling of 6th and Creek already. And again, travel that route constantly. And I've seen more police presence, both doing a city watchful eye as well as a rolling patrol on that street. The speed limit is 25 miles an hour. But to have children try and cross 4 lanes of traffic, even on a 25-mile-an-hour road, is really very dangerous. And perhaps sidewalk isn't the only solution. Perhaps a boulevard style, like what we're doing down on Pacific, would be a better idea, because I don't understand really the vision of why the commuter area, we're shrinking the streets and having, which mostly is comprised of adults walking, but where our children are walking, we're having them cross these dangerous roads. Thank you.
All right, so now we're still around the streets, but we're not quite ready to let go of the parks, okay? So this question is related to that, and the audience member asked, what do you propose to do about the hypodermic needle problem, discarded needles in our parks and on our streets? What do you want to do about the needle problem?
The needle problem, we have a needle exchange program, and at the heart of that issue is the perception that needles aren't being exchanged, they're just being given out. That might be one area to address. Personally, firsthand knowledge of how the meal exchange program works, aside from what I read study. You know, it's a dangerous thing, and where my office used to be located, we battled this issue. It's a public health issue, it's a public safety issue, and it's not something we can just say, let's get a group of us together and clean up block by block. We need a policy and have it be a part of the official meal exchange program. That it needs to be a one-to-one, and it needs to come with some sort of penalty if you're caught exposing a drug paraphernalia in the city that's beyond what's currently.
I believe the needle exchange or the needle issue is a lot more invasive than just parks and streets. It's invaded the neighborhoods. Even on a Saturday night, I've been able to witness, you know, when I went to drug activity right in my intersection. Fighting this drug use and its access to drugs in our communities is a serious issue. It's one way to address that, of course, is going to be a meal exchange program where you're doing meal exchange one-on-one. But really, it's got to be driven down to the neighborhoods and the neighborhood watch programs.
All right, so now time to spring back up to some bigger picture questions. And this one is, what are the city of Bremerton's main sources of revenue? This isn't multiple choice, so what are the main sources of revenue for the city of Bremerton?
Well, there is the property tax revenue. It is quite high. Sales tax revenue. And I was just looking at all of those particular statistics, but those are the main sources of income, as well as we have utility income. We have federal grants coming into our community, state revenue. So those are our main sources of income. So,
Well, we have the dreaded and hated B&O tax, which is one. We have the sales tax, both of which really are regressive tax. B&O because it's on gross and not on net, and the sales tax affects the least of our consumer base and not capturing all the dollars. And then we have payment in lieu of tax, which is associated with the utility department. And then we have an excise tax on real estate sales, as well as the sales tax. And those are the major income streams. How does the city get income streams that are not taxes and not parking fees? We need maybe to look at some way of, through a corporate sponsorship with the parks, to generate a new vertical, or some other something besides the tax.
a lot of different spotlights, things that we shine in. We are like a diamond here in the Kitsap Peninsula. We have beautiful waterfront. We have so much going for us. But as a board of directors, we need to protect that environment. We also need to go out and cultivate this
So staying within the position now as a council person, this audience member asks, how will you balance data against the position of a special interest group if that group's position isn't supported by the data?
Well, as a council person, I believe we're going to be approached by many different groups, and a lot of them with agendas and data that doesn't fit with the situation. And I believe in those situations, the best you can do is review what they have to say and say thank you very much, and we will take it into consideration.
Well, I've been endorsed by some groups, the Board of Realtors, the Home Builders Association, Central Council of Democrats, and these people have reached out, and the reason I mention them is I only align myself with people that my personal philosophy already is. I've been a lifelong Democrat, and you know, I'm a thoughtful person, and in my business dealings, whether it's this career as a realtor or my previous career as an IT executive, data comes at you from all points, and that is why you're a leader. You need to encode that information and make your stance known based on what is best for the people you're representing, be that your team or your constituency, and move forward with your own personal convictions. Whether a special interest group is giving you money or giving you time, you need to be your own person. That's what I promise to do.
Thank you. So now this question from the audience member is very specific. I guess it would be a yes or no question. And the question is, have you, during this campaign, fully complied with the Washington State Public Disclosure Commission's elections regulations?
I have, and I am very, very lucky. While this is my first campaign, this is my treasurer and wife's fourth. So she has been, you know, such a strong supporter of me our entire lives together. But she also is one of the smartest, kindest persons that I've ever met. And so to have her support and to have her keeping an eye on the money is really important because I am not good at talking, meeting, and transit and writing and then photocopying. So we have a partnership and a team in place that keeps track of all of that, and they do a fantastic job. I'm very, very fortunate to have the support of some really key people. So, thank you.
Yes. I am, I've made multiple calls to the PDC to ask them questions and to verify that I have complied and I fully understand anything that I need to as far as answering their questions. So, yes.
Okay, great. So now we're going to turn, I have several questions here related to your questions regarding, I guess, your overall performance, anticipated performance on the council with the city. First question is, how important is being a team player and a collaborator if you are elected to the council? How important is it to you to be a team player and a collaborator?
Well, it's key. It is, that is the position. You're working with a community with a lot of varied interests, and just even speaking to residents, you know, from opposing sides of the street, you get opposing views on the same issue. So you have to prioritize. You have to be willing to negotiate. You have to be willing to meet people where they are. One of the things I do in my job is constant interacting with professionals, engineers, technicians, supervisors, and I have a lot of experience doing this on a daily basis, and I've engaged my community the same way, and so yes, it is 100%.
That's almost an interview question. Everybody wants to say they're a team player. Nobody wants to be the a shiny nail that gets hit down. And it's a council, it's a collective, but in order to be an effective member of a team, you have to be a leader, and you have to know where you stand ahead of time, so you can effectively articulate what your goal is and how you want to work with those people around you. The only way to do that is to be very well informed and already have relationships in place. You know, I've spoken with many of the council people, be it at a study session or in chambers at the city council meeting. Those relationships are already in place, and I can build on those to make my district have a strong voice in the way things are decided going forward.
Thank you. So now let's go to the flip side of that question, which is what makes you more qualified or connected to the district you are running for than your opponent?
That's a loaded question. Just by the fact that we're here is incredible. You know, it's a job that requires a lot of dedication and a whole bunch of time away from your family and your friends and doing what you want to do on Wednesday nights. Especially of late, if you've attended any of the study sessions, they've gone very late. So my goal, my vision is to approach this like it is to stand up and be the man that I was raised to be growing up in a family business and moving forward that way. That's really, I guess, where I'm going. So, thank you.
Very good. Your qualifications, or what makes you more qualified or connected to than your opponent?
I've been faced with a lot of different challenges in my life, and have met them with the same vigor that I was taught by my parents, to just work them through successfully. And it takes a leader, it takes consistency, tenacity, and pushing to achieve what you need to achieve. I have that connectedness to my community through my service at West Hill STEM Academy, and just my knowledge of being in this community for 40 years. Oh, well, actually, like a few more years, but we won't get into those details. But I believe I have that leadership, I have that strength, I have that inner drive to achieve what needs to be achieved for this city. I have the skill and ability to make connections and work with people, and it's proven by my success in my own job, work at People's Foundation.
So this question has to do with I guess, a preparation question. It's a two-part question. The first part is, do you have experience in elected office? And if so, or if not, how have you prepared for this job?
Well, if you call being elected PTA treasurer, I have been, I have served as treasurer, and know the challenges of trying to work with a community that has been a bit stressed, and even more stressed lately.
So the question is, do you have experience in elected office, and what have you done to prepare yourself for this job?
Preparation. I tell you, I have learned so much just about municipal operations, the issues within our community. I went through the board's watershed plan, and I was amazed at what I learned about protecting watersheds and development and planning. And so along that thing, I've also delved into the agendas, the history, and talking to community members, both
Pierce. So that is my only real elected experience. I have been preparing for this job for the last 2 years. At first I didn't know it. I thought I was just attending city council meetings on issues that affect my career, my life personally, in my neighborhood, and the vision that I have for Bremerton. And so I've attended numerous city council meetings and have had impromptu discussions with the mayor as well as several of the city council people at those study sessions, which is really where the nuts and bolts of the city works. And that's really how I prepared myself, is by attending those meetings, taking careful notes, and of course studying the issues in the handbooks. But that's
Thank you. So now this question is actually an interesting twist, because you talk about how you work as a team member, talk about job duties, talk about how you are better qualified for this position, how you prepared for this job. The question simply is, now can you say something positive about your opponent?
She's a very kind person. Before this started, I did not know her. We've only met a couple of times, but again, just her willingness to serve and to be here at 7 o'clock on Tuesday morning, to be here to talk about the issues, and having the passion to be able to step up and go out and meet people in the neighborhood and really put yourself out there is huge. It's not something to be taken lightly and not something to be discounted by the general public. The impetus to stand up here and talk to you for an hour is something that is the first step to get this job. But for many among us, it is a step that we're not willing to take. So I really commend Deirdre for being here and for taking the steps to take this out.
Your turn.
So like Dina has indicated, we didn't know each other before this campaign, and I didn't, other than a short article in our Kids Have Son, was not really familiar with who he was and what he represented. Meeting him, I found him very genial, kind, and gracious man. So I do believe that Dino has, we both have a sincere interest in our community, and we've approached it from different perspectives, but the goals are similar. Like Gino, I have attended the council meetings. My first opportunity was within a month of moving here to talk to the council about the TBD. And I was fortunate to have that opportunity. And so, like Gino, we're both very sincerely interested in this community.
Thank you. So now we have action down to our bottom 3 questions, and I'll just call them out as they come. First question simply is, this audience member wants to know, how frequently do you vote in odd year elections? How frequently do you vote? You're giving me a look, so
You know, that's a good question. I have the demographics. I could probably look it up. But to be honest with you, I'm going to say I don't know. I do attempt to vote most recently for the West Hills STEM Academy edition. So I know it goes back that far, but it's kind of an off-the-wall question. I would say when I have lived in Kitsap County, I believe I have voted. And I would just sincerely just take that opportunity to vote. So there you go.
This is one of my core values. I believe that voting is the most important civic duty that we have as Americans. huge, and it's disgraceful that 48% of us exercise that right in a national election, and even fewer participate when it really counts, and that is the municipal, the special, and the levy elections. I can say with conviction that I have voted in every single election that I've been allowed to, and that includes time when I was living in Bermuda, as well as traveling around as a ski instructor, where I wasn't the most civic-minded of individuals in my 20s. But I truly, truly believe that the cornerstone of our democracy is the vote. I'm proud that our city charter can only be amended by a vote of the people. And through my candidacy, and hopefully when I'm a city council person, I will be out there talking to as many people as I possibly can to inspire them to take up at least a simple action to return to the ballot.
So actually, I'm going to take us to the last question, then we'll go into your 2-minute summaries. And so this question is just basically, what would you like to accomplish for your district and for the city? You have a first priority.
The first priority would be to let every person that I speak to, be it a constituent, group of you, people that I'm working with in my realtor business, to let them know that District 5 has some of the prettiest parks. Most people don't even know how to get to Forest Park. It is fantastic. We have some of the most authentic Mexican food at La Plata. We have wonderful American style Mexican food right across the street at Fiesta. And Susie's Kitchen is probably one of the finest restaurants that we have in the city. It's just an undiscovered gem. I mentioned we have as a Kids Sports, but we also have a really great furniture store, a hardware store where you can get what you need in the city. So my first priority is to raise the understanding that the Callow and District 5 is a vital
The question is, what would you like to accomplish for your district and the city? Your first priority.
Well, one of the first priorities for my district, both in the residential area, of course, is improving the walkability. We have this great park, Forest Ridge Park, wonderful trails, but the signage to it is pretty limited. It's 27 acres. It's huge. For the Cal business area, I've already engaged a few of these businesses and spoken with the business operators to see what they want as a community from me as their council person. And I even resurrected the Charleston plan from 1997 and have engaged them to at least look and see what they want as a vision. The infrastructure to invite and site business as a city needs to be improved. And those are the first things that we need to do.
Thank you. So now that brings us to the conclusion of our question and answer period. Now we get to the 2-minute summary. I ask that you wait until we conclude with those, and we'll hold the applause until the very end. So with that, we started with Deidre. You get to begin with the 2-minute summary, please.
So as a long term resident of this area, I have a vested interest in this community. My children grew up here. I have in a foster care situation where I'm taking care of children, and I see how important what Bremerton is to their future. And I sincerely think we need to move Bremerton forward and meet their needs. And this is one of the essential things of my platform is we're building not just for next year, 5 years, but for the next 100 years. And I believe I have that voice. I don't represent any partisan political group. I'm independent. I'm nonpartisan. I'm going to wrap my arms around this community and be stay and live and grow here in Bremerton and return it to the vibrant community it used to be. And we really need to work on that in business, the infrastructure, and invite and challenge ourselves to welcome those businesses that are innovative, that are that bring in entrepreneurs who can build their business in our community that would benefit as a secondary and tertiary business growth. And partnering with those schools to bring in technical programs that support those businesses. That's what I said.
Thank you. Well, again, thank you all for being here this morning, and those were some great questions. I really appreciate your participation. We spoke a lot about some overarching issues and some issues that are now very near and dear to some people's hearts. And that's what a city is. And that's the way you run a vibrant city, is to take the energy and passion that is in this room, and if each of us can touch 2 or 3 more people with that passion and grow and get the word out. We are a community that is vibrant and caring. You know, through my volunteer work with the Kiwanis, we've seen our impact of community involvement help children both at the grade school and middle school, high school level achieve great things. My favorite day as a Kiwani is the Bennett Scholarship Day, where we get handed out. This year it was in excess of $30,000 in scholarships. That's the way you build it. At the food line, you know, I've gone and helped at the actual food line, building backpacks for kids, or through my wife's event, the Empty Bowl, where I got to see, you know, the need's never been greater there. My qualifications as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a technology executive, have all kind of led me to this point where I have a huge background of dealing with hard issues and multi-million-dollar projects that require stewardship. And you know, it's not a partisan job, and it's not a job that is to be taken lightly. It's a job for someone with vision. It's a job for someone who needs to have vindication of their ideals and their vision every day through the people that surround them at the constituent level. Again, thank you for your time, and I look forward to your support. Thank you.
So before we close, quick announcements. First of all, I want to thank you all for joining us this morning. Second thing is, next week, Tuesday, District 3 representatives will be here. We'll have Adam Brockus, Gerald McDonald, and Michael Struve have been invited to be our candidates. And in closing, I want to say an informed voter is a success to our democracy. So I thank you all for being here, for joining us this morning. And I also want to thank our candidates for their willingness to step forward for civic leadership. Greatly appreciate it. So with that, round of applause. Thank you.